Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. I have been in since came in about 9 this morning and pretty much focusing on the 67 here. So let's see what I did. And then I got to get out of here. It's hot. It's like 95 degrees in the shop. So just basically working on connecting things on the motor. First thing I did, which Jacob put on the fresh air hoses, but he didn't put on these little annoying pieces here. Kind of ran out of time yesterday, so I did that. So these little pieces of tin that you see right here attached to the cylinder tins, and then also to the breastplate there, you see the screws. And they've got these, they're actually made out of asbestos. They're insulators, which I guess the point of those is to keep the heat from these heat riser tubes, which again have they have exhaust flowing through them, and they heat up the manifold so that you don't get like icing and stuff of your intake system. Anyway, so these are very hot, and so I guess the point of these asbestos insulators is to not burn the paint, or in our case powder coating, on all these pieces here, and so that the hot metal isn't actually touching anything, because again it's got these little isolators in here, insulators. Anyway, they're kind of a pain in the ass to put in, and they usually nothing lines up that great, so it's a bit of a struggle to get them in, but when they're in, they look kind of cool. I mean, it's very correct factory stuff here, which is how we generally like to do things, so worth the struggle in the end because it looks very factory. Here's the other side. I'm not going to say where I get those from because they're asbestos. I don't think they're supposed to be selling them, but let's just say I have a source for correct insulators there. Don't worry though, I'm not going to breathe them, grind them up and breathe them. No, that won't be happening. Anyway, so those are in, and I connected the wires on the generator. Let's see, what else did I connect here? I connected the oil pressure switch, connected the coil, which I don't think I had done previously. That's about it for the wiring. I also added the shepherd's hook, which is this piece here that goes between the vacuum pot and the carburetor, and it's got this loop in it to prevent any potential fuel from kind of siphoning down into here and degrading the diaphragm. So that's why it's got this big loop in it. So yeah, put all those things on. Put on the throttle return spring here. Again, those can also be kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know why. For some reason, so this is one of those parts that Wolfsburg West could do better on. The spring, I don't know if you can see this. The spring is like a very, come on, focus. There we go. The spring is like a really tight fit inside of this sleeve right here. And so what's supposed to happen is when the throttle actuates, if I get this thing to focus over here, when the throttle actuates, the spring is supposed to kind of go inside of this sleeve. Again, it's not focused, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, there it goes, like that. It's out of focus, but you can tell what's happening there. So, for whatever reason, I've had this before where these springs and the sleeve that Wolfsburg West sells, the spring is like a really tight fit in there. Like you can barely get the spring up into this sleeve here, and it certainly won't like slide. So what happens is any compression of the spring takes place between the end of this thing and basically the bell house, or excuse me, the fan shroud over here, instead of kind of along its whole length, which again extends up into here. Anyway, long story short, not smooth, doesn't work great. So spent a decent amount of time with a rotary file kind of opening up and smoothing out the idea of this thing so the spring could actually like slide inside of it when it's being compressed. Anyway, so yeah, it's always things like that. You think, okay, I'm going to put on this spring and this little collar and all this stuff. That should take like literally a minute. And 15 minutes or so more later, you're still there grinding on this thing, trying to get it to fit right. So yeah, that's restoration work for you. Sometimes the things that you think are going to be the simplest and quickest end up taking an inordinate amount of time, but again, that's just what it takes sometimes to make things fit. Even our friends at Wolfsburg West, some of their parts are not perfect. Most of them are really, really good, but there's a few things that could stand a little improvement, and that's one. That spring does not fit worth a damn inside there. Anyway, so yeah, put that stuff on, messed around with that, got it working smooth, and then turned my attention to the sort of underside of the car here. So let's take a look down here, see what I did. So again, not very exciting, but crossing things off the list. Filled the transmission with transmission oil, put in the fuel line between the chassis and the hard line that runs up to the pump with the filter. Hooked up the heater box linkage, which you'll be able to see that. Where is that? There it is. Yeah, hooked that up on both sides with little arms, and so you see that little linkage piece there. I had those zinc coated, so they all look bitchin'. And let's see, trying to think what else I did under here. I think that is mostly it. So yeah, just kind of working at the back of the car here and trying to get everything hooked up to the motor now that it's in. I still have to put those accordion looking tubes that go from the heater boxes to the body. I think those are inside of our storage container, so I got to go dig those out and undoubtedly clean them up. Those are probably one of the last things that needs to go down here underneath the car. The rest of this is pretty all hooked up now. Let's see here. Wiring wise, I still have to wire the, since these 67 was the first year for the backup lights that go on the bumper. And so the wire from that goes to the backup light switch on the transmission is right here. And so that gets power off of the coil. And what it does is it uses basically an inline fuse holder. So this thing goes and mounts, say here, to an inline fuse holder, and then on the other end of that inline fuse holder, you run a wire back here, and then to the positive side of the coil. That's your power for the reverse lights. Let me see here. These hoses here, the preheat hoses for the air. The Wolfsburg West was out of the grommet that goes here, and I just checked on their website today. It looks like they got these back in stock, so try and get those, I guess, earlier mid next week. Monday's obviously a holiday, so I won't be ordering them Monday. Order them Tuesday, probably on Wednesday, and then I can connect these hoses. I still have to assemble the air cleaner itself. It's just kind of sitting on here now because it looks cool, but I have to put the flaps in there. Not a big deal. And then put on the little latches on there. All that stuff's been zinc plated, so pretty much ready to go on. I believe that is it today, guys. So unfortunately I wasn't able to do anything on the motor today for the barn door because I'm at the point now where I pretty much need to get the pulley that I'm going to use for the cam, and I think I want to run a straight cut cam gears in here. Nothing too loud. I don't want too loud of a whine, but I'd like it to have a little bit of that kind of gear whining sound because it sounds cool. But it seems like most everyone's out of those. I may have found a source for those gears, the Impy ones, which a buddy of mine says he's had good luck with, so I'll give them a try. If I can't get that, then I'm just going to stick with the stock helical style gears, and I think Wolfsburg West has those in stock that'll bolt right onto this cam. So yeah, hopefully by midweek I should be able to mock this engine up with the cam and everything else in here, and then once I'm happy with that, pull it all back apart, clean it, flush out the case, take out all the plugs that brothers put in there. I had them go ahead and drill and tap all the I don't know if you can see any here. Yeah, had them drill and tap all the oil galley plugs, so I'll remove all those plugs, flush out all the oil galleys. This case has been machined, so undoubtedly all the oil galleys and everything else are full of metal shavings and stuff like that. But usually what I do is I'll do like all the mock-up and stuff first, get it to the point where I'm ready to actually build the motor, and then that's the point when I clean everything, get everything spotless, and then build the motor at that point. So anyway, hopefully this coming week I'll at least get the bottom end of this thing together. And then once Clyde and I determine the compression ratio we want to use, he can, I think, finish up the heads pretty quick. And then before we know it, we'll have a long block. So exciting. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. I did film before it left a walk around video of the 52 split window that we put back to stock. I will probably upload that tomorrow, Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. And then despite Monday being a holiday, I will be here working probably very nearly a full day, so be another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist on Monday, Labor Day. So until then, hope everyone enjoys your, hopefully for you, long weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.